Alright, we're here, chat. Turn on the stream so you can see Seeksa. So you can see Seeksa is right here. He's smelling the liquid death can. There he is. This is Seeksa. This is the big boy Seeksa. Runtman's on the wall. Runtman is the old boy. Runtman is 13-year-old kitty. This kitty is only like 7 or 8 years old. This kitty's a young kitty. Oh. What are you doing? You're on camera, buddy. You're on camera. He's on kitty cam. Kitty cam. Seeksa. Seeksa. Hey, I have to sign into chat to be able to use the emojis. He's messing up my mic. He's messing up my mic. Kitty? What are you doing? What are you doing, Kitty? My mic's really close to my face now because of Seeksa. Oh, Seeksa. Seeksa, Seeksa. His name's 6 because we had 4 cats and his brother and him showed up. So they were 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Named them 5 and 6. Name stuck. They have other names too. They got lots of other names. His name is Fire Watcher too. He's Fire Watcher. Hawk Hunter. He's got a bunch of names. Seeks has got a bunch of names. He needs his own emote. He needs a kitty emote. All we have is this one. All we have is the cat emote. That's all we got. All we got. It's also hard to get to in the little scrollies here. I can't quite get to the cat. Won't let me get to it. There we go. Do one cat. That's all I can get to because it's hard to get to the little emoji. Hard to get to the emoji. Oh, buddy, you're so big. You're big as the keyboard. What are you doing? Alright, so I guess what we'll do is, I already did the labeling of the trades, so we can go through them real quick. Let's see here. Last 7 days. Alright, throw that up there, and then we could do, take a look at the general indices, and then, think about some trades there. And then we could dig deeper into the sectors, into the individual stocks. And Kitty might even help us pick one out. Seeksa might help us. He might help us decide. Kitty will help us decide. He likes looking at the charts. He'll look at them. He'll attack the screens. Kitty. Kitty, kitty. Kitties always find a seated human. They do. He's a big cat. He's a big kitty. He's got a big head. Big head. Oh, kitty. You do. You're slowing the work down, kitty. You're slowing it down, kitty. Causing delays, little kitty causing delays. Alright, so we had kind of a positive week. Hit up the trades table. Nothing was like... It was all like small little things that got us there. This I did on the announcement, which should have just... I could have gone both ways with this one. I got in late too. Dropping though, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Futures have been okay. I need to get more from them, so you can see I got out here. Could have got out here, you know. Okay, here we go. What am I doing? Oh yeah, just going through these. Really, I guess we could just do like go through the overall statistics. I didn't really go through that. Make sure I have all my filters on. Good. Kitty. Kitty. Seeksa. Seeksa. Seeksa, I'm live. Seeksa. Seeksa's on camera. So not bad. Let's see, volume. You kind of have to do this one like with specific asset types. I don't think I traded much stock last week. Yeah, I didn't really trade anything last week. I like food. Oh my gosh, yawning. It's mostly futures. Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty. What are you doing? Seeksa. Seeksa. Still shedding. Still shedding. Kitty, still shedding. Alright, let's get to it, chat. Let's see, let's look at the tags. This might be more informative. So the trendline break's kind of going okay. The things that are bullish, things that are above VWAP. The trendline thing's kind of working. Going short's harder. So just keep that in mind. I also need to think about my sizing. So I need to make sure that I'm sizing correctly. So these are the different items for this month. So the Dow, the Qs, TQQQ's been good. So the focus is to kind of keep that going. I did update my journal a little bit. We could maybe look at that. It's something to look at. And then we can get to the scans. So we could take a look at that. So on my journal, so instead of like, oh, this is a double. Doesn't need to be here twice. Did this need not be here? I have something twice here. So this one doesn't really need to be here. I didn't realize that one up there was up there. Go ahead and delete this. I have to change the template. There we go. So I simplified it. The time frame, I kind of want to be on the 15-minute or the 1 hour. This could mean that you stay in a trade a little bit longer if you stay on the 1 hour. And I'm going to focus on things that, you know, have kind of been working. So like the things above previous session close. Because it, like, even if the market's going down, like you could look for things like SQQQ or something like that. That would be above its previous session close. It might gap up. It might be above its VWAP. And then I have an area here to look at alignment, so between the indices and then the indexes when the market opens. What are the hot zones? And then my setups here, which I've set up time frame. Because I think I'm switching time frames too much. I'm like going between the 15-minute and the 1 hour and this and that. I'm not sticking on one time frame. But I think I could try the 1 hour, and the 4 hours a little long. That's a little bit harder to stay in, but I think I could do 1 hour. I'm gonna try 1 hour. So yeah, we'll try that. And then I have a link to my channel. I gotta change these times on here, and then I have my trading review down here for the day. But we'll try that out moving forward. Tweaking the journal just a little bit. With keeping these things in mind about what's been decent to trade. Kitty! Yeah, things that are short aren't as good. Yeah. Right, kitty. I have to go long, kitty. He's the bullish kitty right here. What's he doing? What's he doing, bro? Doing kitty. I guess other than that, look at the table. So I did get, so for the last 7 days, woo woo, we got G Stobbs in the chat. What? Woo! No, we need a dual stream. Need a dual stream. Do it on Twitch so we could use the emotes. Yeah, multi-stream time, kitty. Multi-stream, kitty. Multi-stream for the kitty. Do 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 do. See what else we got here. I gotta get moving. It's going kind of slow here. A little slow this afternoon. Alright, stop looking at emojis. I don't know what else much to say here. Kind of went through this one already. That was whatever. That was just like the event. Oh, let's look at the day of the week. Let's look at that. And then maybe we'll start the scanning process. I'll get interactive brokers fired up. Monday, yikes. So Thursday, Friday, so Tuesday, so still Monday. Monday's still a caution day. We got next week. We need to make sure Monday is a caution day. We got 4 losses so far on the Monday. 1 win. Apple was the win. This was a mistake to get. Well, not really. It went back down again, but that was an okay trade. Could have been in that one longer. We need to see bigger numbers on these, though. We need to be pulling more numbers. Seeksa, we need to be pulling more numbers. Seeksa. Seeksa. Add zeros to all these. Monday's still a caution day. Tuesday through Thursday, definitely take full size. And Friday's working out too, so be somewhat aggressive on Friday. I know, I got sticks on that hair all over my nose. Alright. Seeksa, what are you doing? You gonna sit there? Or are you just gonna... Tiny little pawpaws. Little tiny paw. Sharp nails. It's got really sharp nails in those paws. He wants to cuddle. Oh, buddy. Okay, we gotta get going, buddy. Alright, caution on Monday. We have kind of a new outlook here because this is based on some of the things that the journal says are working. But again, even if things have gapped up and are above previous day, doesn't mean we can't do SQQQ and, you know, SDAO, those types of things. But knowing that they don't work as well as when you use TQQQ or just go long a futures contract. It works a little better, kitty. It works a little better. Oh, and then I need to keep track of my time frame. So my trades, I need to say, okay, if I'm gonna get in on the 15-minute, you stay on the 15-minute. If you're gonna get in on the hour, stay on the hour. Like, don't mess around with like going jumping from time frame to time frame. That's just gonna mess you up. Alright, news is like whatever. That'll start trickling out as the day goes on here. I don't think there's anything else here we need to look at. Let's pull up Boyfin, look at performance, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. He's so tiny. Oh, buddy. Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty. No, I don't want the table. There we go. Alright, last week, tech on top. Let's go top down. So 1 year. Financials. Communications, tech, utilities. Man, that's just a straight line up. Real estate, NASDAQ. Materials, consumer discretionary, and energy. Energy is down on the year now. And it might keep going down. There's some talk about less demand in China because they all have EVs now. So we'll see how that pans out. Should have gone on that short, but whatever. 6 months. Utilities. I mean, this is really Next Era Energy and like Duke Energy. That's all that is. Like, this is kind of the Russell. This is all on kind of on its own. So this is kind of the Dow together. XLP, XLF, XLC. XLC is probably, well, there's been some downgrades in the financials lately though. I don't know if I want to go there. Maybe XLC, we're just probably going to scan XLC. XLC, XLY maybe? See if there's anything there for the week. Do that. Go to 3 months. Still the same story. 1 month. Consumer discretionary kind of making its way higher. IWM, I think this would benefit a lot from a rate cut that happens this week. So I kind of want to put on what is it, a straddle for that. Even though those aren't super profitable, at least it's something. Because one side of that's going to win. I can guarantee you that. I don't think the market's just going to stay in one place. Got like... I'm like allergic to the kitty. I gotta like go get my inhaler. I'll be right back, chat. Alright, I'm back, chat. Ugh, Kitty is reset now. And he's rubbing on the microphone again because I got up. Alright, so let's say here. We do a little consumer discretionary search. That sounds like fun. I kind of missed out though. I should have bought Nvidia at 100, but I what the hell I was doing last Friday? I don't even. I'm gonna go back and look at the tape on that one. Yeah, a little consumer discretionary, a little tech. We'll take a look, Kitty. We'll take a look, Seeksa. Alright, let's get interactive brokers fired up. See what's up there hot. Kitty, this is a little. You're getting a little in the way there, Kitty. Could also switch the view here, and we could look at also highs and lows. We'll look at those too. Kitty, what are you? Sixa, you're kind of in the way. What are you doing? You gotta lay down. You gotta lay down. Kitty gotta lay down. What are you doing? Slowing down progress. Like I'm gonna keep slow on a Sunday. Kitty, can't do anything with it, buddy. I can't do anything. Can't do anything, Kitty. Show isn't about trading. The show is about Seeksa on the desk. Seeksa, what are you doing? You're gonna like put in an order, Seeksa. You're gonna put in an order. Kitty's gonna put it in. Come over here. Come over here. You gotta lay on your mat. You gotta lay on your little mat. Kitty, lay down, Kitty. Kitty, I need to get to the keyboard. Kitty. He wants to be in the way. Like he doesn't want to sit in a good area. He wants to sit where it's most likely I'm going to pet him. Alright. You little stinker. Kitty? I need a break. I need a little break from the Seeksa. Come on. Down, down, down. Come on. Down, down, down. Oh, go. He doesn't want to go. Come on. Kitty? What are you doing? Ah. Fuck. Well, now we get to fix this. At least it's over here. All right, we're back. Had to clean up a little bit, and then had to get Siksa out of here because he's he gets a little like aggressive. Like he wants lovin's, but he does it in a very aggressive way. But Kitty just wants attention. All Kitty wants. Let me do something real quick here. And we'll get back to it. Oh, okay. Shit. Alright, here we go, chat. Log it in. Scans. Oh yeah, the 20th is also a OPEX. It's an OPEX and there's a Bank of Japan rate decision and there's a Fed meeting coming up. Woohoo! Let's get on the wild train chat. Let's go. So Tuesday we're gonna get wait, yeah, Tuesday's CPI. Yikes. What was the one last week? Last week was core CPI. Okay, so what the hell's this one? This one is... Oh, it's CPI for Canada. It's core retail sales. So retail sales, which, whatever. It's important, but not as important as Wednesday. Because you're gonna get the rate decision, you're gonna get the projections, so it's gonna tell you how many rate cuts they plan to do. You have September, October, November. I don't know if they take a break somewhere in there, but it's gonna be October, November. Yeah, they only have 3 months, so at the most you could probably do 3 rate cuts. If they do that, you might just get 1. And then they'll do the rest of them next year. And then unemployment on Thursday. And then no US data on, well, it's going to be Friday for us, but just the Japanese policy rate decision. I think if they increase their rate, that affects currency. So you might there may be some incident like there was on August 5th. So yeah, probably call it, like I'll do it. Like I'll just have it run to the end of the week. Like we'll see. That's all I could think about there. We could do our scans though, and then, well, actually we should look at the general market first. Like take a look here. So the NASDAQ composite. Oh, we really just want this. So they're all up about the same over the month. Coming out of the doldrums here. Almost to even. Just do it for the week. might have to like pay for it to do that. They're just watch lists. I just want the index. That's all I want. Here we go. So these are the ETFs. Okay. Well, that's alright, I guess. So the NASDAQ is up. Russell's up over the 5 days. That IWM gapped up on Friday. That's been steady. That's been steady. So yeah. Let's see. 1 month. Russell's outperforming. This has a little bit more to go. Like everything else has kind of got back to some level of wherever it was. This is the one that's lagged behind. That's also the reason for the call and the put, that if it does do something, then it might be the most likely to go somewhere. Everything's still up on the air, so you can expect that it might continue that way. So probably still bullish. Don't know what'll happen from Wednesday to Friday, so I'll do a call and a put on that, see what happens. And then see what happens when the market's open in about 3 hours. Maybe we'll look at some levels, but everything's bullish. I mean, that's what you'd say from the looks of it. And everything's up on the past month. Although that happened, a lot of it happened in the past couple of days. 5 days, they're up. 1 month, they're up. And from Friday, they're up. So, any chance to go long, I think that's what we'll try to do. I think the thing to what's the important thing to focus on? Well, the Russell's showing the most strength right now. And if rates do go down just a smidge, that might be the catalyst for at least this week to send it somewhere. That's what my bets are. So maybe thinking about Russell futures. And then seeing what the other indices end up doing. The Russell futures, NASDAQ futures, TQQQ. I think that'll be the kind of the general watch list, and we can find some individual names. Let's go take a look. We said consumer discretionary, which I think is consumer cyclical. And we'll just do this and we'll hit search. Be too picky about it. Let's remove the news here because that just gets in the way. And there's been a lot of news about these Chinese automakers lately. I think there's even like a Wall Street Journal article about them and Ford. Like Ford's like way behind and not good. Alright, let's take a look here. Interest rates. I don't know if it was a Bloomberg thing or if it was oh, right here. The article is what scared Ford's CEO in China. This article.
What scared Ford CEO in China? Jim Farley is changing strategy to combat what he calls an existential threat from China's electric car makers. By Mike Collias. September 14, 2024, 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Jim Farley had just returned from China. What the Ford Motor chief executive found during the May visit made him anxious. The local automakers were pulling away in the electric vehicle race. In an early morning call with fellow board member John Thornton, an exasperated Farley unloaded. The Chinese carmakers are moving at light speed, he told Thornton, a former Goldman Sachs executive
When did
who
he go
spent
to
years
China?
as a senior banker in China. They are using artificial intelligence and other tech in cars that is unlike anything available in the US. These Chinese EV makers are using a low-cost supply base to undercut the competition on price, offering slick digital features and aggressively expanding to overseas markets. John, this is an existential threat, Farley said. For years, Tesla was the main source of consternation for auto CEOs trying to tackle a transition to electric vehicles. Now, it is the rapid rise of nimble automakers in China that have rattled executives from Detroit to Germany and Japan. Even Tesla's Elon Musk recently called the Chinese the most competitive car makers in the world. In the span of a few years, Chinese EV maker BYD, backed by Warren Buffett, and other domestic brands have clawed away gobs of market share in China from once dominant foreign rivals, through a combination of lower prices, high-tech interiors, and rapid vehicle updates. Today, they are quickly expanding in Europe, the Middle East, and other Asian markets. In the US, carmakers see EVs as their future, but for now, EV sales growth has slowed as high prices and charging hassles turn off some shoppers. Shortly after the trip, Farley arranged to have Chinese EVs shipped to Michigan for executives and directors to check out and sit in. The models were displayed in a Ford conference center near its headquarters. During board meeting coffee breaks, directors took turns fiddling with cars. One was the first EV from smartphone giant Xiaomi, which has drawn comparisons to a Porsche and sells for $30,000 to $40,000, below Ford's similarly sized Mustang Mach-E SUV. The Xiaomi has a fragrance diffuser and an infotainment system that can connect to devices inside the home when the car approaches, turning on the home lights or air conditioner, for example. There was also a $77,000 futuristic-looking electric
Does everybody
minivan
want
from
that?
Li Auto.
I don't know if anybody. I don't care if that.
Have heated arm and leg rests.
Okay,
and massive
so let's
multimedia
pause the
screens
lady here.
controlled by hand
So,
gestures.
okay, alright. Raise the hands in the chat. Who wants their car to turn on the air conditioner for them? Is that a feature we want? What? Oh, shit. Oh, now we're back. Now you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, like, okay, so these AI features, whatever, but like, turn on your home lights and air conditioning. I mean, I guess that's cool. Do I need a fragrance diffuser? I mean, these features, like, I don't know. The EV part of it's like the only part that's concerning is they're taking over the world with these electric vehicles. I don't know. Let's listen to the rest of it.
Ford Brass compared the setup to business class air travel or a home theater. Executing to a Chinese standard is going to be the most important priority, Farley said. Humbling trips. Chinese brands have so
Executing
far been
to a
kept out of the US
Chinese
by steep
standard.
Tariffs, geopolitical tensions, and regulatory hurdles.
Okay.
But some have established a toehold in Mexico, where China-built vehicles, both EVs and combustion engine vehicles, now account for about 20%
Oh man,
of sales.
what?
Governments
They let
around the
themselves
world
get
are worried
pushed
about
out.
China's EV expansion, citing everything from potential job losses to data security concerns. In the European Union, where Chinese imports make up about 1/5 of electric sales, regulators recently disclosed plans for tariffs up to nearly 50%. The Biden administration went further with a roughly 100% tariff. Farley, a 62-year-old
Playing catch-up
car fanatic who spent the early part of his career in marketing at Toyota Motor, sees Chinese EVs as an immediate threat in Europe and other overseas markets, and a long-term risk in Ford's profit engine of North America, regardless of protectionist measures. Farley often reminds his executive team of how Toyota and other Japanese car companies grabbed market share from the US automakers in the 1980s and 1990s, followed in recent decades by Korea's Hyundai and Kia, which have found success with EVs. "I've seen this movie before," said Farley, who has been Ford's CEO for 4 years. A few humbling trips to China in the past 18 months prompted Farley to alter his EV strategy. On a visit to China last year, he watched engineers dissect an electric car from Chinese juggernaut BYD to reveal elegant, low-cost engineering. A spin around a test track in another China-branded EV left him blown away by the car's ride quality and high-tech features. Those experiences persuaded Farley to narrow Ford's focus in China to commercial vehicles, rather than trying to compete with local manufacturers in its consumer market. Now, he is racing to fend off the threat of Chinese EVs elsewhere, in part by borrowing from them. The CEO has a team exploring ways to contract with some of the same low-cost parts suppliers that have given Chinese EV makers such a big edge. He has pivoted Ford's
So much for
strategy towards smaller
onshoring.
EVs, because for now the huge batteries needed for big pickups and SUVs are too expensive. That strategic shift resulted in the recent, high-profile cancellation of a future Ford Explorer-size electric SUV. Ford is developing a low-cost mechanical layout to serve as the foundation for several future EVs. Among the first will be a mid-size pickup truck due to arrive in 2027. Farley sees the China threat as a test of his efforts to change Ford's culture and make his people move faster. "Either he can make us uncomfortable, or we can wait, and the Chinese can make us uncomfortable," said Doug Field, a former Tesla and Apple executive hired in 2021 to lead Ford's technical transformation. "These guys are ahead."
What is
For
going on
decades,
over there?
Ford and other global car makers did not view Chinese automakers as much of a threat. China opened its auto market to foreign companies in the 1980s under the condition that they enter joint ventures with fledgling state-owned car makers.
Just take
The
your
local
secrets.
manufacturers mostly played little sibling roles to their foreign JV partners, helping them to navigate red tape and providing some capital to build factories. Meanwhile, Beijing was methodically investing in a plan to leapfrog global car makers through a move to electric cars. The government offered generous subsidies for car companies to build EVs and for consumers to buy them. Huge investment into car chargers also nurtured the EV market. By early this decade, those once shaky Chinese companies, joined by a few hundred startups, had begun churning out stylish, affordable EVs. BYD in particular.
So you'd
pulled
have
away
to
from
do
the pack,
something
selling
similar
more
here.
than
You'd
3
have to
million electric
subsidize
and
it. That's
plug-in
what
hybrid
happened.
cars last year, nearly 7 times
And then you
higher
need
than
the
in
infrastructure.
2019. BYD's cheapest
Energy.
EV,
You
the
need
Seagull,
energy.
starts around
Oh,
$10,000
the infrastructure
and
can't
features
support
a
it.
fashionable cabin, a rotating iPad-like touchscreen, and more than 300 miles of driving range, comparable to EVs from legacy automakers
Why don't
that
they
are
just
priced
show
3
videos
times
of
higher.
this? Like,
It
put
is
in
currently for
videos of
sale
these
in China
airplanes.
and Latin America, and BYD plans to start selling it in Europe next year for around $20,000. In early 2023, Farley made his first trip to China since it reopened after years of pandemic restrictions. He sat in the driver's seat of an electric SUV from Ford's longtime joint venture partner, Chang'an Automobile, which for years had been a middling player in China, its market share hovering around 5%. Farley, who races vintage cars and has an encyclopedic knowledge of car models, thrashed the EV around Chang'an's sprawling test track in central China, as Ford Chief Financial Officer John Lawler rode shotgun. Afterward, the executives sat silently, stunned at the progress Chang'an had made. The ride was smooth and quiet, and the cabin upscale, with easy-to-use technology. "Jim, this is nothing like before," Lawler told Farley after the drive. "These guys are ahead of us."
These
Scanning
guys
the
are
market,
ahead of us.
Farley was born in Buenos Aires. His father was a banker, and the family relocated many times. He also had some Detroit roots. His grandfather joined Ford in 1913 as a factory worker. A big Steve Jobs fan, Farley says his favorite photo of the Apple founder shows him crouched and peering into an office to watch a worker on a Macintosh computer in the 1980s. As a young marketer at Toyota, Farley spent a year on the road doing research for a new Camry sedan, chatting up car owners in store parking lots. "He's just constantly scanning the market," said Ted Canis, the head of Ford's commercial vehicle business. Canis said last year he was caught off guard when Farley asked him about a new China-built commercial van that had barely registered on the UK sales charts. I'm completely distrusting of research, Farley said in a recent interview. I like watching what people do. See where they spend their money. A first cousin of the late comedian Chris Farley, he has embraced the limelight during his 4 years as CEO. He hosts a podcast that has featured Tom Brady and Sydney Sweeney and has taken Jimmy Fallon out on the racetrack. He is prolific on social media, sometimes bantering with Elon Musk. He can be brusque and intense in meetings. Farley has been known to interrupt people mid-sentence and tell them to stop admiring the problem and come up with a solution, executives who have worked with him say. John Huntsman, a longtime Ford
It's a
director,
weird
said
sentence.
Farley is not a polished glad-hander or a prototypical CEO. He's distrustful until you earn his trust, Huntsman said.
What does that
He's
mean?
brutally honest, to the point of being offensive. During a Morgan Stanley investor conference last year, Farley was asked
Does
what
that mean he's
superpower he would
stubborn?
choose. Kindness, Farley said. I'd like to be more kind. Ford's EV transition has been made more challenging by quality problems and costly recalls. Farley said things have improved recently after
What's
Ford
going on
tied
over there?
worker
Like,
bonuses to vehicle quality metrics. Following early buzz for the F-150 Lightning pickup, which lifted the stock price, fading consumer interest in EVs led to pricing pressure and heavy red ink.
So is it just
Ford
like
is on pace
Americans
to
aren't
lose
interested in
about $5 billion
EVs? Like what?
on EVs this year, equal to as much as half of its projected operating profit. Farley
people
says
sick doing
erasing
this.
those losses.
But it's like, okay, so I'm wondering about the car culture in China. Like, you think about like the American car culture, like we've all wanted a car, this and that. I don't know where that market is in that culture. Like, is everybody clamoring for a vehicle and this is the way that you get one? Is this like, and then there's like these articles that pop up every now and again about how younger people don't want to drive or they don't want to own a car. They would just rather like rent something or take an Uber or have someone else drive them. Like I don't know if that's true. I'm just wondering the differences in the market. Like, I guess you just look at the sales, like, you know, you look at American car sales, I'd have to pull those statistics. Maybe we can Google that and find that versus Chinese car sales and volume. I mean, I don't know how you verify either sets of numbers. That makes sense, but like, to me, this sounds like they're just giving up. And then like there was that other article like a year ago, like, oh, Ford's okay being number 2. Like, I think they need a new CEO. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no excuse for this. Like, they had the whole thing set up with these partnerships. Why wasn't the information traveling both ways? Like, obviously it went one direction. Why isn't it going the other way? Is it because we're not interested in EVs? We're tapped out on like what we want to buy? And the thing is too, is like with EVs, I mean, you can't really, there's no, you think about the used car market, like I don't know that there is one with EVs. It's like you buy a car, it's like your cell phone. You're just going to get rid of it and buy a new one. So there's no like, and I don't know how long a BYD car lasts. Like my last car lasted almost 2 decades. How long does an EV last? You know, some of these old Fords are still driving around. You see them on the road from like the 70s and 80s. You get some of the people that even drive the ones from long ago, vintage, super vintage cars. Do the modern cars last that long? I don't know. There's a lot going on in this article. It's not very encouraging though. Like it's just like Jim Farley is just like giving up. That's kind of what I'm getting from this article. And read the comments. There's a lot of comments. Let's finish it though. We got 2 more minutes.
Is his top priority. The sense of urgency is so high.
Sorry about the
because
scrolling.
$5 billion loss is so visible, Farley said. How to save $800. That test track run in early 2023 convinced Farley and Lawler to give up on trying to reclaim Ford's status as a major player in China. Ford is using China primarily to export vehicles to other markets. Farley has vowed to apply lessons from China elsewhere before the Chinese pull ahead again. Farley said he is confident that the team working on the new EV tech, led by another former Tesla engineer, can erase the cost gap with the Chinese EV makers. If that effort is successful, Farley said he believes Ford's expertise in trucks, off-road vehicles, and the commercial market will give it an edge. For a company that sells huge pickups and SUVs for $70,000, offering an EV for a fraction of that price requires some tough calls to keep costs in check. One day this past summer, Farley walked through Ford's design studio near the company's headquarters to check the status of several future EVs. One prototype seemed like it would be at home in China's family-centric car market. It featured a configurable rear seating area with seats that can swivel to create a meeting space. Farley and Field huddled around a laptop, looking at a spreadsheet of line items for the future midsize electric pickup. The goal: figure out how to extract $800 in cost. The team had overachieved on the driving range by 16 miles, Field explained, which meant they could wring out about $500 by shrinking the battery. Finding the rest of the savings would be a slog. Would it really need a heated steering wheel? Maybe the front trunk was expendable, one of the execs suggested. Before long, Farley worried aloud that they might be cutting too many corners, and that the product could end up being really SHY. He suggested to Field an informal process. How about they slap sticky notes all over the prototype to hash out what should go? Then let's get 20 people who we all trust in a room, Farley said. And we argue about it. Write to Mike Colias at mike.colias@wsj.com.
I don't know what to think about that. This article is terrible. Y'all want to listen to the Intel one? You want more bad news on a Sunday? Like,
posing a challenge to the American auto industry.
all right, let's watch this one now.
On China's roads. But now, hundreds of these models lie forgotten in a giant clearing, lost to waves of new and improved electric cars.
The city of Hangzhou is littered with electric vehicle graveyards, just like this.
Yeah, see?
China has shifted rapidly to electric cars. The US is worried that Chinese car makers could flood its markets with cheap and good electric cars, posing a challenge to the American
What, instead of expensive shitty ones? Like, what's the alternative?
Outdated EVs have been left in fields like this across China's eastern city of Hangzhou over the past few years.
This EV graveyard has hundreds of electric cars, and the Chinese government has pumped money into this sector. There has been technology developing very quickly in terms of the electric vehicle models. That also means that the older vehicles become obsolete relatively quickly.
Washington is worried that an oversupply of Chinese EV will
I'm more worried about all the land this takes.
deluge of EVs in China.
What? Where are we gonna put all this trash? Like, if we start doing this, India starts doing this, China's doing this, Japan's doing this, Brazil's doing this, where's it all gonna go?
Roughly twice as many cars as it sells at home each year. The government has thrown its weight behind the EV industry.
Oh my god, a bunch of Lucids just sitting right.
China has the entire ecosystem working for it. China has battery, China has ore, lithium ore.
Yeah, they have all the resources to do this.
Chinese. So eventual winner is going to be China.
That threatens companies like Tesla, which briefly lost its crown as the top EV seller to China's BYD last year.
There's a lot of people who out there who think that the top 10 car companies is going to be Tesla, followed by 9 Chinese car companies. I think they might not be wrong.
Chinese automakers have already been shipping more electric cars to Europe, raising competition for local players. The US doesn't want that to happen on its own shores. To get ahead
But then all that happens is that they stop progress.
On Chinese electric vehicles.
I'm determined.
Like, I get it, but then it's also at the same time like we're behind now.
Union workers. Period.
By not understanding this and just like saying, "Oh, we'll be second," you know, we're not even trying to understand it. There's only a few people that understand it.
The Beijing Auto Show is a chance for car makers to show off their new EVs before they hit the market. The sector has attracted dozens of new players over the years trying to cash in on the boom. One of them is Xiaomi, a tech giant best known for its consumer gadgets.
This is the Xiaomi car. If you place an order today, you have to wait about 6 or 7 months to get this car. And this is probably one of the hottest cars at this auto show. Many people are lining up for 30 minutes or more just to get into this booth to try out this car.
The company already has around 70,000 orders in China and says its highly automated plant It's able to build a car every 76 seconds.
Every
Xiaomi's
76
CEO
seconds.
wants to eventually ship its cars around the world.
If anyone wants to start a conventional car company, they need to have hundreds of thousands of components to come together. Whereas EVs, the entry barrier is significantly lower. Components are fewer, components are pre-packaged, and therefore, if you and me decide to start an EV company, it is relatively easy. It is possible.
American automakers may also face competition from established companies like BYD, known for mass producing affordable cars. It wants to build a factory in Mexico, which could help it circumvent the hefty tariffs that the US has on Chinese vehicles. BYD's cheapest EV model, the Seagull, is sold at around
$10,000?
in China. Under the new US tariff, a buyer in America would end up paying at least double that amount for the same car. China, which firmly opposes the new tariffs, is already the world's biggest auto exporter, but gasoline cars still make up a big part of the export. The US is concerned that the exports will soon include more EVs.
You look at American automotive history. Earlier, they had the GM Ford Chrysler 3. Then Japanese went there. Now it's the third wave. Now it's Chinese knocking on their doors, and there is nothing you can do once you say that you are open market, you want to promote global marketplace, etc. There is nothing you can do to stop.
Could you go to Mexico and buy a BYD vehicle and bring it back?
Pioneered electric vehicles and the technology that drives them. But now, they're playing catch-up in a race to the top with China.
No, and then they're all like, oh, the Chinese economy is so bad. This and that. Like, okay, auto show like that where people are excited about cars doesn't really lead me to think that their economy is so bad. Okay, so maybe they're not buying the luxury goods, but my hypothesis on that, and I don't know where to dig for this information, is that they're just not buying Western brands. It's not that they're not buying luxury. They're just buying something different. They're buying something different. Like, man, that's disappointing, yo. Yeah, it's on. I'm saying something. Can you hear me? What's wrong? Oh. No. Okay. You didn't listen to the whole Ford story? There's one similar to Intel on Intel. I don't want to listen to that story. I don't really want to listen to that. I don't want to hear it. It's going to be the same. Well, let's just look at the headline. I'll pull up the headline and you can see it. Like, this was the two news stories this week that I was kind of like, makes you go, that's when you kind of go, oh, and then the whole thing about, oh, all the AI guys got together this week at the White House, but then, like, where's that article? There was like one article about that. What's Trump is safe after, oh, he was shot at again. Trump was shot at. Oh shit. In Florida of all places. Oh yikes. Oh my god. No, like that affects you mentally. Like when people are out to kill you, I don't care who you are, you're gonna be affected by that. And wow. Man, amp it up. What's that song? Let's go find that. We're gonna play a brief thing of that. Like, pump up everything. Pump up the stock market. Pump up the anxiety. Pump it up. Let's go. Where's that song? Is it this song? Yeah. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. Oh my god. You can play like what, 20 seconds? Oh my god. There you go, chat. Just like pump up all the things, man. Pump up the anxiety, pump up this, that. Like, let's go. Oh, but in other news, which was like last weekend, was like The Weeknd's gonna come out with a new album, so that's good. That's always fun. That was some good news last week. And now I lost the music I was listening to. I guess it was this one. I'm gonna listen to this one. This one's fine. Okay, Trump was shot at again. Okay, that's scary. No, and even the other automakers, like if you think about like BMW or these other ones, like they don't they're just being pushed out. Like I don't know what the consumer wants though. Like you think about a consumer in like going to Italy, like yeah, they need electric vehicles there because they're tight on space, but I don't know where you would plug them in. Like that's like even in some of the city centers, like you see the small little cars, but I don't know that they're not all electric. And then even if they are, I didn't really see any place to plug them in. Even in America, like you're gonna add to your electric bill in the summertime. Like our electric bills switch between using gas and using electricity. So you use the gas in the winter and you use the electricity in the summer. And so it's just a matter of flip-flopping who gets paid the big bucks each season. Like one company takes over one season and then the other company takes over on the other season. Anyway, where's that headline for the Intel thing? I might have to Google it. I might have to search for it on the Intel. They got this. They did get this. This was like some good news. I think it was this article, maybe? He told the audience during what analysts described as the company's worst report ever. We were built for leadership. What does that mean? Still abnormally high eyes. Widest profit margins. But never who had to give up even trying to compete against Intel was constant until just a few years ago. They couldn't compete. And now they've overtaken them. An organization used to defining customers' products, charging high prices, and spending really to overwhelm competitors now needs to learn to sell itself as a partner. Intel has to convince a very skeptical group of companies who are finally emerging from its shadows to trust it. Wooing rivals may be its toughest task. I don't get it. Like, we were partnering. Never mind. I'm still thinking about the car one. And then they talked about partnerships here. Was he at that meeting? I don't know if he was even there. You can't continue to do multiple things and not do anything well, said Morgan, who's been following and investing in Intel for decades, trying for leadership in design and manufacturing, even in an industry where production technology adds better. It totally dominated. Intel should have should have bought out AMD or Nvidia way back in the day. They should have took the Apple approach and took them out. The Apple and Google approach, because they could have bought AMD or Nvidia when it was first starting. They were like, "Oh, we're so good, we can't. We're gonna beat you all." Like, did they really think that? Anyway, that's that sad article. We went into it anyway. Let's go back to things that are less sad. Maybe find some opportunity. Okay. No, it was all sparked by this. It was all led by going to consumer discretionary and seeing what the biggest volume is a Chinese automaker. That's what it started as. That's where we started. So you know what? Maybe that goes on the watch list. As much as I don't want to trade a Chinese automaker, because I don't know how our markets deal with their, like, should it be higher? Oh man, okay, so let's go. Okay, and then we're gonna go to Tesla. Let's go here. So Q2, let's look at the slide deck. Revenue, okay, we could just look at that maybe even. Here we go. Oh, look at that fin. That's cool. Okay. So quarterly deliveries for Q2 2024 was 57,000. Production. Tesla's doing 400,000 deliveries. So they're doing about 3 times as much. But this is increased. Well, it kind of was like it. Wow, Q1 is low, but that seems to be. So Q3 is the year before Q3 year before. This is a weird chart. So it's up. So they're making what, 2 billion? I mean, overall, I mean, what is BYD? BYD. I'm not gonna trade any of these. I don't know what I'm looking. I don't know what I'm doing. If it moves though, like it's a day trade, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you got to be committed to a Chinese automaker. Like it's a trade. If it's gonna move, it's in the news, people are paying attention, it might move. So it goes on the list. Simple as that. See what it does. I don't think I'm putting in an order in right now though. Alright, BYD, I'm looking that up now. Walmart. Walmart. Let's look at that chart. Talk about the consumer. Let's go. To the moon, baby. No, I bought this somewhere. I don't remember where I got in on this. It's long-term portfolio. This is a long-term hold for me. This thing's like parabolic. Huh. Yeah, you have to wait till it drops down to 200. It has to drop down to like 79.31. So in the volatility of the week, like that could be a fun little trade. I wonder how high it could go. It's like all-time highs. And this thing had a stock spike. That's where I think I bought it. I bought it on the split. That's where I bought this stock. I bought it in my long-term portfolio. Man, earnings. Earnings that dropped down to 64, y'all. Man, should have had orders waiting there. Waiting. Just waiting. Man, that is a nice... That's nice. Walmart, let's go. Hey, man, pulls back. We can think about it. There's a reason it's there. Starbucks, you know, I think this peaked a long time ago. I don't know what... How do you make Starbucks work for... I mean, people go to Starbucks. People still do Instagram, Starbucks, this and that, la-di-da. People like their Starbucks. Maybe they got too overextended in markets, like in the Chinese market. I don't know. It is in an uptrend. I mean, you can't deny that. So it is kind of in this slight uptrend. I gotta get this other chart. Let's get the other chart up. So like, it kind of is in an uptrend. Sort of. Like if you look really long term. I don't know how much it is up over though. It doesn't tell you when you do the thing here. It is above this trend line. I mean, this is like a turnaround story. You know, this has to be they have a new CEO. I mean, we'll see what they can do. I'm not sold on trading that though. I'm not terribly interested in it. Well, that's like being squeezed. What's the last? What's the news on this? Why did that squeeze? Yeah, it's just squeezing. It could just be a short squeeze. This is a short squeeze candidate. Actual. So their loss is it's just a short squeeze, I think. It might be at the top of it. 15 is a little rich. United Airlines. Oh yeah, let's look at this one. I was gonna trade this. But then it kind of got away from me. It's doing its own thing. It's coming, it's like in this big thing. Let's see what it looks like. 5 years. Yeah, I mean, it's coming out of a... Like, you know, you're coming out of a base. $37 was kind of the place to buy. I think it's still a good trade. I don't think it'll pull back this far though. I mean, maybe you get here. Hmm. Oh, and it pays a dividend? Oh, wow. Price targets were raised? Oh, man. Maybe just get in on this. Like, hold it till the end of the year. See what happens. Hmm. What time frame? What's the ATR? $2, 30 cents. $2 on the day. So $2 would be somewhere down here. If I wanted to get in on the daily. So maybe playing the volatility of the week. Would I want it to go down $10 though? Could I stomach that? Probably not. It'd be better if it was here. Well, we'll set an alert though. I like this. I'm put it on the watch list. I see lots of people wearing this stuff, and like it seems like there's definitely a following for that brand. Restoration Hardware, Yum Foods. Oh yeah, let's check on Mickey D's. Okay, they came back. See, they came back. Shit, missed that. Damn. Down here 250. Down here 250. Didn't get it. Now it's up here at 300 again. Shit. Alright, we missed that trade. Alright, we have what's this? This $5 stock. I don't know about that. Lowe's. LOW. How are we doing here? Still super expensive. Yes, we are. It's flat. And you put Iron Condor on this one. I think this thing's flat as a pancake. Like, no, I'm gonna put the Iron Condor on, and then it goes up or down like really aggressively, like. So the dividend is out here. Next earnings are in November. Let's see what the sell a call spread on Lowe's. Oh, it's decent. Nah, you need to do 2. You have to do at least 2. Up here. Let's go to option strat. Let's set this up. What's the IV rank in here? It's probably not very high. At 25, IV percentile 36. That's kind of middle of the road. Like, and it's decent. You're getting a decent, do maybe this one. So I would do, I'm doing the 270, 280. What day? This is decent. That's a 10. Oh, yeah, that's a 10 wide. Okay. There's nobody here yet. Everybody's out here. Not very many people there. Oh, they're all in January. They're there in January, October. Everybody's out here. A lot of days though, 100 days. And that would include an earnings. I don't really want to deal with that. When's the earnings here? Yeah. The dates are just kind of wrong. We can look and see if open interest increases here. I'm intrigued by this. I'm intrigued by a call spread maybe in lows. Yeah. I'll have to look in the morning though. Practice options trades. Let's go take a look again. Let's see. Pulte, NAR, good old Costco. I think this is coming out of the Dow or the S&P or something. Tell. Let's look at TJ Maxx. Yeah, this thing is already gone. That's crazy. So we have Lowe's and then the Home Depot. I thought Home Depot took kind of a dipsy doozy. It's the same as Lowe's. The same chart. On the 12th, okay. Alright. So on Neo. I mean, Walmart's always on the list. And then we'll see maybe what pops up during the day. Let's go ahead and look at, what was the other one we were gonna look at? It was consumer discretionary. Oh, maybe, was it communication? XLY. Oh yeah, I was gonna look at XLK. Yeah, we could do that. XLK, XLC maybe. Even get one more idea. Water. Palantir. Oracle. Marvel. Let's look at them. So, bring this down. I can see it. Oh, PLTR. I traded that. Funny. Yeah, it's whoop. Came out of its doldrums there. Broke above. Off to the races, I guess. Kind of pulled away. Next one's Unity. One's working on it. One's working on it, but in a downtrend. ORCL. Maybe it's a short squeeze. I mean, this is already taken off. Pullback is viable, I suppose, if you wanted to spend $144. And we got Roblox, Fortinet. None of these are exciting. I don't want to trade any of that. Let's go to go financials. Medical Properties Trust. Okay. Redfin. I think that's because of the rate decision. That could be something to keep on the list for Wednesday. Like, maybe it'll move. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be day trade. So keep it on the list. Maybe I'll put it in the charts too so we can keep an eye on it. Visa I missed. Oh gosh, I missed that. Blackstone. Health Realty Trust. Why are these making a move here? I have to read more about those. I don't understand those. Nothing to, I'm not connecting right there. Communications, search. AT&T. And then you have Uber. Oh man, is Uber gonna break out? Is it gonna do it? Oh, look at that. Boom, boom. Trying to break out here. Trying to get out. What's Uber gonna do? It's stuck. Oh, man. Place your bets, chat. I mean, it's in an uptrend. Breaks above this line, like, there's your confirmation, but you'd want to be in now on something like Uber. Your stop would be like down here. Man, what's Uber gonna do? Oh man, I have to put it on like the, oh, I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't know if I want to trade it. I don't know. Meta. Coupang's back. Coupang is back, y'all. Coupang. Oh, look at that. Look at that trying to have an uptrend. Little tiny little uptrend it has. It's like flat. It looks flat. It's funny. eBay. And like PayPal's getting all kinds of attention. I don't know if they're in I don't know what sector they're in. eBay. Cisco. Oh, it broke out of its little downtrend. Kind of retested it. Maybe it's going back up. Maybe that's a long shot play. Breaking out of a downtrend. The CSCO. Alright, so what I've got so far from the little scan was looking at Neo, because that was the highest volume on that list. And then another interesting consumer discretionary stock is On. Another interesting one was Lowe's, because it's flat as a pancake. I don't know if it'll stay that way. It's been sideways for a very long time. It might come out of that consolidation. And then you have Redfin, which has a lot of volume. And it'd be interesting to see how it is affected by the decision on Wednesday. And then just scanning some tech stocks, communication stocks. Cisco appears to have broken out of some kind of trend. It's slightly above its 200. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of like, why don't you just trade NVIDIA? Like, something that has real movement to it. Like, why are we trying to bottom fish down here? Anyway, it was just the price. It's mostly the price. Can it move? But it only moves like 80 cents in a day. That's not very much. That's not what I'm looking for. That's a slow mover right there. I don't know. Keep an eye on it, I guess. Nothing's really popping out to me at this point. Maybe I just need to break. Take a little bit of a break, and then I might scan 52-week highs, 52-week lows, and see if I can come up with a good short before the market opens at 3 o'clock. But if you liked what you saw today, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and follow us at Wilsford so you always know when we go live. And always remember that this is for educational and informational purposes only, not to be intended as financial advice or a recommendation. And remember, there's some big events this week. FOMC, and that could send the market on a journey. See where that goes. Oh, and there's the Bank of Japan rate decision. So who knows? Watch futures. I guess I gotta say, watch your futures in the overnight. See what they start doing. Yeah, we'll see what we see tomorrow. And thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching if you did stop by. And I wish you a safe and profitable